The truth. I am the truth. John chapter 14, verse 6. When the man of the five senses talks of truth, he regards it but as a predicate of something historical or scientific proved a fact. Or, if he allows that, for aught he knows, there may be higher truth. Yet, as he cannot obtain proof of it from without, he acts as if under no conceivable obligation to seek any other satisfaction concerning it. Whatever appeal be made to the highest region of his nature, such a one behaves as if it were the part of a wise man to pay it no heed, because it does not come within the scope of the lower powers of that nature. According to the word of the man, however, truth means more than fact, more than relation of facts or persons, more than loftiest abstraction of metaphysical entity, means being and life, will and action. For he says, I am the truth. I desire to help those whom I may to understand more of what is meant by the truth, not for the sake of definition or logical discrimination, but that when they hear the word from the mouth of the Lord, the right idea may rise in their minds, that the word may neither be to them a void sound, nor call up either a vague or false notion of what he meant by it. If he says, I am the truth, it must, to say the least, be well to know what he means by the word with whose idea he identifies himself. And at once we may premise that he can mean nothing merely intellectual, such as may be set forth and left there. He means something vital, so vital that the whole of its necessary relations are subject to it, so vital that it includes everything else, which in any lower plane may go or have gone by the same name. Let us endeavor to arrive at his meaning by a gently ascending stair. A thing being so, the word that says it is so is the truth. But the fact may be of no value in itself, and our knowledge of it of no value either. Of most facts it can be said that the truth concerning them is of no consequence. For instance, it cannot be in itself important whether on a certain morning I took one side of the street or the other. It may be of importance to someone to know which I took, but in itself it is of none. It would therefore be felt unfit if I said, It is a truth that I walked on the sunny side. The correct word would be a fact, not a truth. If the question arose whether a statement concerning the thing were correct, we should still be in the region of fact or no fact. But when we come to ask whether the statement was true or false, then we are concerned with the matter as the assertion of a human being, and ascend to another plane of things. It may be of no consequence which side I was upon, or it may be of consequence to someone to know which, but it is of vital importance to the witness and to any who loves him, whether or not he believes the statement he makes, whether the man himself is true or false. Concerning the thing, it can be but a question of fact. It remains a question of fact, even whether the man has or has not spoken the truth. But concerning the man, it is a question of truth. He is either a pure soul, so far as this thing witnesses, or a false soul, capable and guilty of a lie. In this relation, it is of no consequence whether the man spoke the fact or not. If he meant to speak the fact, he remains a true man. Here I would anticipate so far as to say that there are truths as well as facts, and lies against truths as well as against facts. When the Pharisees said, Corban, they lied against the truth that a man must honor his father and mother. Let us go up now from the region of facts that seem casual to those facts that are invariable, by us unchangeable, which therefore involve what we call law. it will be seen at once that the fact here is of more dignity, and the truth or falsehood of a statement in this region of more consequence in itself. It is a small matter whether the water in my jug was frozen on such a morning, but it is a fact of great importance that at 32 degrees of Fahrenheit, water always freezes. We rise a step here in the nature of the facts concerned. Are we come, therefore, into the region of truths? Is it a truth that water freezes at 32 degrees? I think not. There is no principle open to us involved in the changeless fact. The principle that lies at the root of it, in the mind of God, must be a truth, but to the human mind the fact is yet only a fact. The word truth ought to be kept for higher things. There are those that think such facts the highest that can be known. They put therefore the highest word they know to the highest thing they know, and call the facts of nature truths. But to me it seems that, however high you come in your generalization, however wide you make your law, including, for instance, all solidity under the law of freezing, you have not risen higher than the statement that such and such is an invariable fact. Call it a law if you will, a law of nature if you choose, that it always is so, but not a truth. It cannot be to us a truth until we descry the reason of its existence, its relation to mind and intent, yea, to self-existence. Tell us why it must be so, and you state a truth. When we come to see that a law is such because it is the embodiment of a certain eternal thought, beheld by us in it a fact of the being of God, the facts of which alone are truths, then indeed it will be to us not a law merely, but an embodied truth. A law of God's nature is a way he would have us think of him. It is a necessary truth of all being. When a law of nature makes us see this, when we say, I understand that law, I see why it ought to be. It is just like God. Then it rises, not to the dignity of a truth in itself, but to the truth of its own nature, namely, a revelation of character, nature, and will in God. It is a picture of something in God, a word that tells a fact about God, and is therefore far nearer being called a truth than anything below it. As a simple illustration, what notion should we have of the unchanging and unchangeable without the solidity of matter? If, such as we are, we had nothing solid about us, where would be our thinking about God and truth and law?